Guys, welcome to NBA new show, the new NBA show. Joe, how's it going over there? Your neck of the woods, my friend.
It's going good over here, man. I'm excited to talk basketball.
Great. And what kind of games do we got going on? I mean, I'm just curious, what kind of games we got going on tonight, Joe?
All right, so right now, Aaron, on ESPN, Clippers, Pelicans. Clippers right now are winning 43-37. We got Bulls, Bucks, Mavs, Knicks, Heat, Cavaliers, and then at 9 o'clock and 10:30, we got Hawks, Suns, and Nets and Nuggets.
Wow, some good games. Joe, I was talking, and here's the thing, man. The crazy thing about this, Joe, one thing I was watching the other night, one thing crazy that I was watching the other night, Joe, I was watching the Houston Rockets, Joe. The Houston Rockets I was watching. Did you watch that?
I did, and I had a funny feeling you were going to bring that up, man. And I have some things to talk about to you.
All right, that's good because I called for the Houston Rockets to be in the race. Because there's a team that has continuously stopped the Houston Rockets from advancing, right?
Right.
Now, that team that's been stopping the Houston Rockets from advancing has been no other than the damn...
You got it, John.
The Golden State Warriors. I mean,
Well,
the Golden State Warriors are no more. They're nothing. They'll be lucky if they can fill the seats in that damn place. They'll make more money selling peanuts, I said, Joe.
Hey, I agree with you, John. Look, the Golden State Warriors, they fell off the mountain. Steph Curry gets injured. Everyone on that team gets injured. And now it's just D'Angelo Russell who has to take control. Yeah, but I think the Houston Rockets are good, man. What did you think about that game last night?
Well, what I noticed right away, first and foremost, I noticed that it's a different, totally 100% obviously dynamic when you have Russell Westbrook on the floor with Harden. But what I do know, first and foremost, can you bounce the basketball and quit bitching? I'm so sick and tired of seeing these damn teams play, and every single thing that happens, Joe's a damn foul. Can I watch the damn game?
Yes, please.
And it's just like, I mean, every single thing is a damn foul.
Yeah.
Get the hell over it, and let's play some ball, some old school ball. Now, I'm from Detroit, some Detroit b-ball, back from the Detroit Bad Boys. We're talking about Isaiah Thomas. We're talking about Vinny the Microwave Johnson, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis the Worm Rodman, John Sally. I can go on. Joey Dumars. All right, listen. You know what I'm saying, Joe.
Hey, I know what you're saying. And that Detroit Pistons team, let me tell you, they beat Michael Jordan a couple times, got him out of the playoffs. So, I know you've been watching some basketball, John.
I have been watching basketball. So anyway, back to this Houston game that I watched. Harden is bad to the bone.
Yeah, he is a really good player, really good offensive player.
They were playing against a team that doesn't have too shabby of a player as well with the Clippers.
Yeah.
So, one thing I noticed and I did like about Harden, he's freaking better, dude. Joe, he's better this year.
He probably is better, but look who was guarding him, John. Kawhi Leonard, it was weird. He didn't take control and say, look, I'm going to guard the best player on the Rockets. It was Patrick Beverley that was guarding James Harden. So I took that into account. I know he had like 47. He's a great player, but Kawhi, you need to take control, man.
I mean, I don't know if they didn't want Kawhi Leonard on him because they didn't want him to follow out, because I'm going to tell you right now, Harden will get you to follow him, man.
Yeah.
He's just got weird mojo, weird movements, and it's very deceiving, man. I think Harden is probably one of the most deceiving players on the court as far as speed and making it to the hole. It doesn't even look like he's barely moving sometimes, Joe.
Right. His step back's unbelievable. Some people call it a travel. I think it's a travel, but yeah, he's unbelievable.
Joe, come on. You think that step...
Look, he's an unbelievable offensive player, but I feel like the fouls I feel like he gets a little bit too many calls.
Joe, you don't like James.
Oh, I like James Harden, I do, but I just think the refs, because it's weird. Look, when Curry does it, he doesn't get a foul call, right? But if if James Harden does that step back, it's not a travel, and he gets every call. I just don't think it's fair.
Basically, the league came out and told Curry, "Look, dude, you're distasteful. If you keep your mouthpiece in your mouth and quit chewing on the damn thing, we might get you a foul now and then." I said,
Yeah.
"You can't keep it in his freaking mouth."
You don't like Curry, John.
No, I think Curry is a great dynamic player. I watched Curry without a supporting cast sit on a bench with a towel over his head.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understand that, but I just feel like he's the greatest shooter that we've ever seen.
Joe, I got to ask you something. You like Curry, I'm taking.
Oh, yeah, I love Curry.
And I think he's great,
He changed the game. James Harden didn't change the game. He didn't revolutionize the game. He's a step-back travel guy that doesn't play any defense.
How did Curry change the game?
Curry changed the game. All the little kids, they're not saying Kobe now. They're saying Curry and shooting in the paper in the
Are you sure they're not talking about Indian food?
Yeah, they're throwing
like
that
curry
that
goat
shit away.
or curry chicken? I don't know, Joe.
I think they're talking about Steph, man.
They're talking about Steph Curry, and I'm going to give you that, and I think he's done great for it. James Harden is who in the Houston Rockets are definitely going to make the playoffs, but I think it's the team that... Remember when I numbered them, Joe, last week? And I put the Houston Rockets in there at... I think I put them at 2 or 3. I think I put them at 2.
Okay, I'd put them at 3. Personally, I think the Lakers are better than them, and I think the Clippers, they played without Paul George. When Paul George comes back, that's a scary,
So what did you think?
Team.
Talk to me about the game last night. What did you think about the outcome of that game?
Look, it was a close game down the stretch, and then we saw the technical foul with Doc Rivers and all that. But personally, I think Kawhi needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He was missing some shots. And Harden took over. He did take over. I'll admit that. He did. I saw him hit like a 40-footer, a couple of those. Westbrook, I thought, did well. I think the Houston Rockets just outplayed him. I don't think they're the better team, though.
Well, they were the better team last night.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the better team last night. Harden is actually having record-breaking numbers as far as an average right now. I think he's averaging 38 high or 39, which is an actual record if he can maintain and keep it. It's better than Jordan in his prime. I'm just saying, Joe. Just saying.
Wow, that's impressive.
It really is.
Right.
So, Harden's looking good. Let's just see what happens when he starts working in and utilizing this team in the way that this team is actually meant to work. But I truly and honestly think they're in a much better situation than they were with Paul. I really do. I think they're in a much better position and a better team. And Chris Paul, I just think it was time for him to go. A lot of money, too. A lot of money for that guy. But now, of course, look what they did with the money. So,
right. I understand that. Yeah, Chris Paul's on OKC now. I think they made a good move getting Westbrook. Westbrook's in his prime. He was an MVP not too long ago. So I think, look, Houston's going to be good. I think they're going to be good when Eric Gordon comes back, too. I just think they need one more guy.
Yeah, I think they need one more guy, too. But if they learn to play together, they can get it done. Since we're sticking with the West, Joe, how about them Lakers?
Look, the Lakers, as I said, I think they're going to win the championship because they have LeBron James, who's playing unbelievable basketball in his 17th season. man, he's an incredible player. He's averaging close to a triple-double, I think. So, yeah, the Lakers won. What are they? 8-2, John? I think they've only lost 2 games this season. So, Lakers doing really well.
I mean, they're really not playing around. They're just not. They're not playing around right now.
Yep.
And I think they got a great team, and they've got a lot of room to get better still right now, which is for anybody else, which is actually the scary part of it, Joe, is that they can get better than that. And that's where it really, seriously, is a scary part, because the Lakers have room to grow, Joe.
You're right. The Lakers do have room to grow. I think they're going to make their bench a little bit better, to be honest, but I mean, their bench is pretty good. Caruso's been doing really well. Dwight Howard. I mean, that guy, he was traded to all these teams at the Atlanta Hawks, and now he's doing really well with the Lakers. So that shows how much of a leader LeBron James really is. He makes his teammates a lot better.
Right, and that's the thing is that he does that everywhere he goes, Joe. He really does. He does that everywhere he goes. He makes his team better. And I love that. He's been doing that forever, Joe. He's been making teams better wherever he goes. That's just the way it is, Joe.
Yeah, I like him. So if Dwight Howard can turn into Orlando Magic Dwight Howard, then the Lakers are going to be incredible. But, I mean, they got some other contenders in the West, too. Denver and the Utah Jazz are looking real good. So, I mean, you got to talk about them.
Denver and the Utah Jazz looking good. I mean,
some Jazz.
I got to feel this for a minute, okay? Yeah, this is our NBA music. I know NBA is, NBA is seriously all about the show. It is. It's all about the show. Man, bringing this back a little bit, like we're going back to some 70s basketball, which, hey, everything repeats itself. It's good stuff. So, I don't know about you, Joe, but I like it. Joe.
Yeah.
Speaking of my NBA music, which I tremendously love, let's go over to the East, Joe. Over to the East, Joe. Talk to me.
All right, man. The East is looking good. Look, headed by the Boston Celtics. The Boston's 9-1. They're a very good team. I know Hayward is out for a while, I think 6 weeks or more. But I still think the Celtics, they're heading the division. But the funny thing is, I still think Milwaukee, as I said, is going to win the East. And we got other teams as well. Miami, Toronto are looking real good, too.
I feel bad for a couple teams. We're going to see what happens with the Pacers when they become healthy. Because remember the Pacers last year, Joe? Do you remember them?
They were really good. Yeah, they don't have Oladipo.
I mean, he's getting some work.
Yeah.
Okay, he's getting some work right now. He should be back here soon. I mean, you want to take your time with this guy, but that's a difference maker. So, as of right now, okay, I can say that the Pacers are a little bit quiet, but what do you think about the 76ers, Joe?
Yeah, the 76ers. So the 76ers are 7-4. I still think they come in second or third in this conference. So Ben Simmons, I think Ben Simmons is a really good guard. Imagine if Ben Simmons got a stroke. If he got a shot, oh man, that would be probably the top of the division team right there. And Joel Embiid, one of the best big men in the game.
And weren't you hoping that Ben Simmons was going to work on that stroke? I mean, didn't you think, I heard, I was listening to, who I was listening to? The Dan Patrick Show.
Okay.
And the Dan Eds. But Reggie Miller's a regular on that show, and he calls in all the time. Reggie Miller and Dan Patrick are pretty tight. And Reggie's saying, I'll meet up with them in the offseason, and I'll work with them on that shot. And, I was just thinking, Ben Simmons, if you don't take Reggie up on that, come on, swallow some pride. I would have been knocking on Reggie's door. Hello, heard that you were going to work with me on my shot, Joe.
Yeah. I honestly, you're right, John. I agree with you. I think he should take up Reggie's. You know, if you want to train with Ben Simmons, one of the best shooters ever, I mean, Ben Simmons, you have to get a shot to make this team go over the top.
Are we going to see Brooklyn do anything this year? I mean, are we going to see Brooklyn do anything this year?
Hey, Brooklyn's in the 8th spot, man. 4-6. But Kyrie, I feel like Kyrie's not going to stay healthy the whole season.
He's got to work too hard to get them to get anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think Brooklyn makes the playoffs.
You want to know what's crazy? I spent big money. I'm a Brooklyn owner, right? And I got KD and I got Kyrie. But KD's not going to be there this year, right?
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Joe, I would have
back.
had a mysterious injury happen to Kyrie. And I seriously, Joe, I would have had a mysterious injury, season-ending injury happen to Kyrie so that he is taking this year, not getting beat up, not getting injured, and not putting the miles on for nothing. Because that's what it's going to be for. It's going to be for zero. They're not going to do ship high in transit this year, Joe.
Right. Yep. I don't think they make the playoffs. Kyrie's probably going to get hurt. But let's talk about the team that might take their spot. Could Michael Jordan's Charlotte Hornets take
Oh, heck, Michael Jordan ain't got no basketball team, Joe.
The Orlando Magic, look, if another Florida team can make the playoffs, I want to go to some games, so I hope Orlando does.
Well, we can go to some games even if they don't make it. I mean, I'll go to an Orlando Magic
some playoff
game.
games, man.
Oh, you want playoffs?
Playoffs?
Okay. That would be fun, man.
Hey.
Playoff basketball. I haven't been to playoff basketball since I was in Detroit, D-Town, at the Palace in Auburn Hills, if I'm taking you back.
Yeah, you're taking me back, man. So, we haven't seen basketball.
Playoffs? Okay.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so Brooklyn's not making the playoffs, man, but look, Boston's looking good.
So, Solomon Lewis, welcome to the show, my friend. He says Blazers got Carmelo. The Blazers got Carmelo.
Carmelo Anthony, one of the best players.
One of the best shooters.
Used to be one of the top players in the NBA.
One of the top shooters.
But look, his stats, honestly, are still good. So they can use Carmelo on the bench on the Blazers. The Blazers aren't looking too hot right now, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you add Carmelo and he comes off the bench, and you can either I think all this time Carmelo should have been working on his post-up game. And then, of course, you know he can shoot a three, but I really seriously think you get Carmelo coming off the bench and you can post him up. I just think, man, Carmelo has an arsenal of shots. He really does.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. He was one of the top scorers in the NBA when he was on the Knicks, when he was on the Nuggets. So Carmelo can still put up numbers, and he's still a bucket. He can get points. So
Solomon, make sure that you like Sports Static page since you've been here on the page. And Solomon, do me a big favor. If you like it, you can also register, Solomon, and you can actually call in the show if you'd like to. I can put that up for you if you want to see it, Solomon. But what you need to do, Solomon, is you can go to LipaLive.com/register. And right when you hit that register button, you will be able to call directly right now onto the show for the live show. So go ahead, guys. If you want to actually call the show and talk basketball, I don't want to talk, casserole dishes. I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to talk that stuff. Joe, I want to talk basketball.
Yeah, definitely want to talk some basketball today, man.
So, guys, if you want to call the show, we'd love to have you call the show. It'd be a great pleasure of ours. But we'd also like you to go ahead and click the like button on the Facebook page as well. We appreciate your enthusiasm. So, keep it healthy. In the East, Joe, you liking Milwaukee?
I do like Milwaukee. Look, I think Giannis is going to be one of the best players honestly one of the best players we've ever seen. He's so young, and he's improving his jump shot. Once he improves it like really well, he's gonna be a top player. So yeah, I like
think he
Milwaukee
will
a lot.
too, and it's more about the shot and working the shot, and then your confidence that comes with it.
Yep.
We already know what he can do when he puts the ball down and drives 2 steps from the free throw
Yep.
line, and he's almost in the audience. So you know what he can do, and you know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball too, Joe.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's top in steals, and he's averaging 29.7 points per
Wow.
game. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So he's amazing, and I think Milwaukee wins the Eastern Conference.
Joe, who is the sleeper right now? I know we're early on here, and we're just over 10 games into the season. But, Joe, who's one of the teams that's surprisingly out of the East that surprises you and shows a little promise?
Oh, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, definitely. They're 8-3, and I'm starting to get Miami gear. I'm from Florida. I'd love to go to. I went to Miami Heat game before. I'd love to keep going. Miami looks good. Tyler Hero looks great. That defense is looking good. So
It is surprising because
it's
through all the
surprising.
analysts and everything that we all watch, guys, this show is all about, just so you know right now, and let me put it out there to you right now, Sports Static. We do a football show as well. It was just aired prior to this show. It started at 7:30 Thursday, and we also do the football Sports Static football show Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. So we don't just do basketball. But to let you guys know what it's all about with our football show and our basketball show, this show is all about the fans. It was birthed. The show was birthed in a bar and grill with a bunch of people hanging out in the bar and grill talking sports. It's the fans that really talk sports, guys, right to the heart of it where we like it. So this show's from the fans. That's you guys. And then it comes to the fans, and that's us, right, Joe? That's us. And then we throw it back to you. Throw it at them, Joe. We throw it back to you guys, the fans. This show is from you guys to us and back to you. It's all of us, the fans. That's what this show is about, and that's what makes a good show from sports fans great. A good show, great. So, yeah, huge surprise, Joe. All the analysts were talking Miami. They were talking hanging up for Miami this year. They're not going to be very good. Here they are, Joe, 8-3, looking great. They stomped the Rockets. And we don't know if it's because everybody's coming into Miami and they're getting a little bit too saucy on South Beach. I don't know.
Yeah, Miami looks really good. So, look, man, Kendrick Nunn, this new guy that came out of nowhere, 23 points, 10 of 16. He's like the main guy on Miami, and wow, he's looking incredible for a rookie.
So, Miami, who else you got in the East that you would say is a little bit of a surprise on the positive side and shows promise, Joe?
Okay, let's go Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, I really like Trae Young. As a rookie, he's putting up really good numbers. He's leading the team. I think the Atlanta Hawks make the playoffs, even though it's really early in the season. So I like Atlanta.
I love seeing youth with swag.
Yep.
I love seeing youth in the NBA with swag. I mean, confidence. Because really, so much of going from good to great in the NBA is confidence. Being able to forget a couple of those bricks and a couple of those air balls and get back up there and shoot the ball again. Because, you know, sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off. But if you lose it mentally in the NBA, you're not going to be in the NBA very long. So I really like seeing that confidence and swag coming out. What do you think about those Celtics, Joe? The Kyrie-less Celtics.
Yeah, but I think Kemba Walker can replace Kyrie Irving, to be honest. He puts up similar numbers, and he's less drama. So I think Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Cantor's coming back off injury. Yeah, the Celtics are good, but I still think they come in second.
Still think they come in second. How about a team here for you? Newly playing in actually the city of Detroit. How about those Detroit Pistons?
I like the Detroit Pistons. I do. Drummond's good, really good. One of the best big men. So the Detroit Pistons, I think they're well coached, and I think they play defense like the old Detroit Pistons.
But
did.
we got to keep Blake healthy.
You're right, man. You're definitely right. So if he could stay healthy, I think the Pistons are just, they can get that 8th seed.
Now, you think the Sixers are going to be a team? Because remember the Sixers last year. Everybody was calling for the Sixers then. We seen what happened there, Joe.
Yeah, right. They got bounced down. Then you saw Embiid, whining, crying. So, but I think the Sixers, look, they can get the 2 seed. They could get the 3 seed as well. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons can get a jump shot, I think that team could do really well.
We're not even going to talk.
Yeah.
We're not even going to talk about Brooklyn, are we?
No.
Okay. We're not even going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, are we?
Colin Sexton's really good, but no.
Hey, they were holding their own against the 76ers the other night, though. The Cavaliers were there in the fourth. And then, the Sixers kind of took it. But the Cavs were there. I was surprised, Joe.
I was surprised too, but the rookie Colin Sexton, he was a really good pickup for that team. Definitely the leader of that team. I think. Look, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're definitely in a real rebuilding position.
You just can see their youth.
You can see their youth, definitely. They're fast, they're strong, and they're in a rebuild right now. But I don't think they make the playoffs.
Let's jump on a plane. Let's go over to the side where the sun rises.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the West, Joe. From the West Side, Joe.
West Side.
Tell me about the team that has surprised you so far early season and has some hope of a playoff run, Joe.
The Phoenix Suns. Yeah, it's crazy to think the Phoenix Suns, but Devin Booker is probably one of the best scorers in the NBA at such a young age. He really is. That team, they've showed me a lot, to be honest. They play defense. They get Booker off the screens and pick and rolls. They rebound the ball. So that's a surprising team to me.
They surprised me as well. We got a message from Kelly Cabal. He is saying Goma ARDC. I mean, do we go code here?
Oh, dude, it's the Da Vinci Code.
Kelly, welcome to Sports Static. I'm tempted to throw you the number.
Is that a gang?
All right, here we go. Kelly, check it out. Kelly, this is for you right now. If you would like to call the show right now, the line is open for Kelly right now to call the show. Kelly, you're more than welcome to call the show. I hope we're talking basketball, not casseroles, okay? Not lowriders. We're talking basketball. Kelly, call the show, okay? That, by the way, Kelly, was put up there just for you. If you caught it, you caught it. If not, it's going bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. There it goes. So, yeah, Kelly, you're more than welcome to call the show, man. We appreciate you. Joe.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns. Who else you got there out of the West? Like I said, that we're talking about the team that's a surprise to you and has, really a chance that we see them postseason, Joe.
I think the East. Look, man.
The West. We're West.
Oh, the West?
We're
Look,
West.
how about the Mavericks? The Mavericks, look, they're Luka Doncic and Porzingis. I mean, they're a good team. I think Mark Cuban's a really good owner, and I think they're coached well. And Luka Doncic is an MVP candidate.
I really do think you're right on that because they put the pieces together now. I mean, they picked up the big guy, right? And it's all about health when you got these big guys, Joe. It's all about health because they picked the big guy up from New York, okay? But Joe, I'm real scary when I see this guy's knees. Can he hold up, Joe?
I hope so. I'm scared of those two, honestly. I hope he can. If he can, his team could go far in the playoffs. So,
I mean, if you got the big guys in the NBA, you got something to prove. We've already talked about the Rockets. We've already talked about the Clippers. The Clippers are going to look like a different team when George comes off the bench. They're going to, and what I mean is not when he comes off the bench in the game, when he's back to starting, injury-free and starting, the Clippers are going to look like a different team. Great coach, great players. However, Joe, just as any league he's ever played in, any division he's ever played in, the NBA goes through LeBron wherever he's playing.
Yeah, I agree. And he's never had a teammate like Anthony Davis.
Never.
Never had a teammate like Anthony.
And that's not to knock Wade or Bosh, Love, and several other ones. It's not to knock them at all. We're talking Anthony Davis.
Right. Yeah, Anthony Davis is one of the top players we've ever seen in the NBA. And he's only 26 years old, so that's crazy. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I think, are the best duo in the NBA. And the Lakers are looking real good. JaVale McGee's looking good. Dwight Howard's looking good. Bradley's looking good. So LeBron's just making all these guys better.
You know what's crazy, Joe, is that they missed players they were trying to get. They were trying to get players in there, and they didn't get. They got George. I mean, there's players they wanted that they did not get. Okay, could you imagine? Because right now we're picking them, and they feel like they failed as far as picking up other supporting roles here, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of players didn't come. I don't know why. Maybe they were like, "Oh, LeBron's washed." They were calling him the washed king. It's like,
why in the hell would they call him washed?
Because he has a lot of haters, but I don't know. He's averaging almost a triple-double, and I mean, with Anthony Davis, I think with Kevin Durant out, all these players injured, you got to think the Lakers are the favorites to win it all.
Golden State's done.
Golden State's done.
You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, they're done.
So, for everything the West has seen over the last several years, you're not going to see that anymore. That's why, Joe, I always put Houston up there, because it really comes down to health. Okay? It does. And I got to tell you right now, Harden is solid, man.
Well, Harden is solid offensively.
He's there at the end, though. He's there in the playoffs.
He's there at the end. But, you know, Kawhi needs to step up. But I think James Harden's going to be the leading scorer in the NBA again. And definitely going to be in the MVP race again.
It's exciting. It's going to be exciting. So, who else, Joe, on the West do you think is probably one that may be a late bloomer and surprise us all?
Okay, the Spurs. I think the Spurs are going to surprise us all, even though is it really a surprise that they make the playoffs? They always make the playoffs under Popovich, but right now they don't really have anybody. They lost Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. They're 5-6 right now, but I think they do squeeze into the playoffs and actually make a run.
And nobody ever wants to see the Spurs in the playoffs because of their coach. I mean, they're just a well-coached team. He knows how to utilize the players that he has. Pop's the best coach in NBA history, one of the best coaches in NBA history. Of course, he's got a couple names that people would argue to go right along with that. One of the best. It may end up with the most wins. We'll see. Actually, I don't even know who has that title, Joe.
Who?
The most winning coach in NBA history.
Ooh, isn't it Popovich?
It may be.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, because that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Remember old Chuck Daly? You got Phil.
Let's check here, John. Man. Greg Popovich is 3.
Okay.
Don Nelson is 1.
Don.
And Lenny Wilkins is 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pop's 3 in the
Pop's
modern
3.
era.
Modern era. Pop's the most winningest coach.
Okay. Well, there it is, guys. How about that? So by the time he finishes, I don't know. Can he catch him, Joe?
He needs around 114 wins.
So if
he can catch him.
Yeah,
he can catch him. Yeah.
That's cool. Wow. All right, guys. Once again, you see what's flashing at the bottom of the screen, whatever watch group you're in. Here's something from Chris Jack. I think Raptors can get to the finals or Celtics out of the East. I gotta say, Chris,
That's a good point. Yeah.
the Raptors, the Celtics. I think the Celtics go to the playoffs, okay? And then anything's possible. And if we see what we saw out of the Celtics a couple years ago, Kyrie-less, okay, that young group of guys really threatened in the playoffs. They were threatening to go to the finals in the playoffs. So if the Celtics can get that rolling and get back to that, I think they're going to be a strong playoff contender, Joe. What do you think about that?
Look, I think the Celtics make the playoffs. I think they make a deep run. I think the Celtics get the 2 seed. I think the Raptors, I think Pascal Siakam's really good. He's putting up almost 30 points, and he's
but for what the Raptors were last year, okay, obviously, and where they are now, you really think that they're still right at that point, Joe?
No. You can't lose Kawhi Leonard and be at the same position. But I think Siakam's turning into like the next, superstar on the Toronto Raptors, and Kyle Lowry can't really stay healthy.
So Chris, first of all, do yourself a favor, because we got a great football show and basketball show is just warming up. Do yourself a favor and like this page, Chris. We appreciate your comment. And thanks for joining us. We got the Thursday at 7:30 p.m., Chris. We have the football show, and then at 8:45 every Thursday starts the NBA. 10:30 on Sunday morning, we're back to football for a 2-hour show. So, Chris, thanks again, and thanks. That's a good insight right there on the Celtics and the Raptors. Joe, we're going to get the hell out of here and go watch some Thursday night football. In closing, Joe, I know we're not far in, Joe, 10, 11 games in, but in closing, Joe, how's the NBA doing, and who's your favorite team right now?
Look, the NBA is exciting because the Warriors aren't going to win the championship anymore.
It's exciting,
It's
Joe.
exciting now. I think the Lakers are the top dogs, but I think the Celtics and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference, also with the Clippers in the Western Conference, that's the 4 big teams, and I think the Lakers come up on top.
The East, wide open since LeBron left. Before LeBron left, it was LeBron every single year. You guys know that. Since LeBron left, I don't care who's over there in the East. It's wide open always because LeBron's not there anymore, guys. That's a fact. So, guys, if you're in the East, if your team's in the East, it's wide open, completely wide open. In the West, guess who's in the West? LeBron. Okay, you got to go through LeBron. I don't give a ship high in transit. If you're new to the show, that means shit. Ship high in transit. I don't care. If LeBron's in your division, you're going through him. It's as simple as that. And if you're talking about East and West, every single year LeBron was in the East. Guess what? 8 years in a row to the finals. I didn't say playoffs. I said to the finals 8 years in a row. Who did that, Joe?
Look, LeBron James.
Yeah, that's right. That's who did it.
Right.
How the hell you don't call this guy the greatest? Okay?
Yep.
But anyway, so now he's in the West. So, guys, the West, you're going to see Mr. LeBron James. With or without hair, he'll be there. And you're going to see LeBron James. King James, they called him. So that's what I'm saying with that. Exciting in the West. I think extremely competitive. I don't know what's going to happen in the East. Joe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know either, but I still got the Celtics winning that division. But I think the Bucks are definitely going to contend with them.
I'm thinking it's the Bucks, probably, if they pull it all together.
I mean the
I'm
Bucks.
looking for
Sorry.
the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks win it. My bad.
I'm looking for a late run with these Pacers again, man. I'm looking for the Pacers to get healthy. They just looked so damn good last year until they lost their star. And if they wouldn't have, and if they wouldn't have lost him, Joe, were they not looking scary?
They look really scary. Yeah, even without Oladipo. So when Oladipo comes back, that's a scary team.
I mean, Joe, they were playoffs. They were going.
Oh,
and they were looking scary. And then he went down, Joe.
Oh, they're going to go deep in the playoffs.
So I really got to add them into the equation over there in the East. But as far as the West Coast, guys, it's exciting and competitive. You're talking Houston, you're talking Clippers, you're talking Lakers, you're talking, as Joe said, the Suns. I don't know what happens when the Pelicans get Zion. I don't know, Joe.
Oh, my.
Joe, I don't know. We haven't even talked about
man.
Zion because we haven't seen this brute in the NBA.
Look,
I'm a little worried for him, but Joe, hello?
Look, I'm going to make a prediction right now that the New Orleans Pelicans are going to be a top dog in the West in a few years because with Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, you think they weren't angry that the Lakers traded them, Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram? Oh, they were mad, so they're trying to prove everybody wrong. And with Zion, this team can go over the top.
It's going to be scary. So it's
Yep.
super exciting. Guys, I want to thank you for being part of the NBA show. It's going to continue to grow, guys. We have a lot of elements we're going to add to this show, a lot of elements, and we're going to make it fun. More than that, guys, is we're going to start doing the Fantasy DraftKings NBA. So coming up next week, we're going to start the DraftKings NBA. And that's going to be a lot of fun, guys. So we hope that you kind of interact with us on that. We got a lot of fun things coming up and some giveaways that are going to happen too. So make sure you go ahead, you like the page, guys. You see it now? Like the page. Joe, in closing, my friend.
In closing, guys, I think the Lakers are going to do really well this year. LeBron gets MVP, and I can't wait to watch some more basketball.
Watching some more basketball. I can't wait for it either. Guys, enjoy your Thursday night basketball as well. I want you to also enjoy some Thursday night football. We'll be back with you guys. We will be back with you guys for Basketball Thursday. Hope you guys enjoy your football. Hope you guys enjoy NBA basketball from Sports Static. Enjoy yourselves, my friends.